What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and today we're gonna predict the next story for Tekken 8. And why do I say Tekken 8's next story instead of just saying Tekken 9? Well, it's because back in February, during a Tekken talk, Michael Murray and Harada discussed a potential story DLC. One that could be coming as soon as May. And if that's the case, we may be seeing a reveal at EVO Japan, just a couple days after this video's uploaded. So, I'd better make my predictions now. Let's start off with what we do know about this story DLC. According to Harada and Michael Murray, it's potentially going to feature what other characters were doing during the main story. Obviously in reference to the DLC character Eddy, who got added later on. But just focusing on that one DLC character because there's no other DLC characters out at the moment would be a bit small for a DLC story mode. If it was going to be just Eddy, it would likely be a character episode, which they already confirmed it isn't. So I think we're going to see quite a bit of other characters too. Now, even though pretty much every character got involved in the story, not all of them were involved for very long. For example, Steve only showed up during the tournament and Operation Rebellion. What was he doing before those and in between them? We didn't see how Leo reunited with their father. We know Jun's back thanks to the ending of Tekken 8. Hwoarang, despite how popular he is and how he played a much bigger role in the story this time, still didn't have a single playable segment. And we still have a ton to learn about Reina. But to be honest, I don't actually expect to see much about Reina in this story DLC. The reason being is because this game is going to have a very long lifespan, with multiple seasons of DLC characters added. If they're going to be giving us more story just a couple months after release with only one post-launch character out, then I think we're getting even more story later on in the game's life. So in the future, they may continue off that post-credit scene and we'll get to learn a lot more about Reina, and whatever new DLC characters they add along the way. But for now, in May, I think they're just gonna focus on Eddy and all the base game characters, fleshing out their stories. Leo reuniting with their father, Jun coming back, Law getting associated with G-Corp, maybe we can see more of Jack 8's abilities since he got kind of hoed in the story, display more of what Lee's new suit can do because he's shown absolutely nothing beyond rocket boots. Just neat stuff like that. As for Eddy, his story in Tekken 8 on the official site is very interesting. After reuniting with someone unexpected that he hasn't seen in 10 years, he abandons his quest for revenge for a quest for peace. And I began to ponder who that unexpected person was, and my first thought was Jun Kazama. I mean, that would be unexpected. And 10 years is kinda close to how long she's been gone in the story. And it would make sense if she was the character to get Eddy off Kazuya's back. But apparently it was Yoshimitsu who brought Eddy to this unknown mysterious person. And Yoshimitsu doesn't really have anything much to do with Jun. Plus, Eddy wasn't in Tekken 2, so he wouldn't really be reuniting with Jun, he would be meeting her for the first time. Then I thought Christy, but no, Eddy has seen her as recently as Tekken 5 and 6, which are only a year ago in the story. Then I thought his master, but no, Eddy's master died, and Eddy did see him recently. So, unless there's some brand new character we don't know about yet that Eddy has apparently known the entire time for over 10 years, the only remaining character this could be is Eddy's father. Either Yoshimitsu taught Eddy how to communicate with his father spiritually, and that kind of explains Eddy's new spirit powers, or, back before Tekken 3, Yoshimitsu recovered the body of Eddy's father who had been supposedly shot and killed after Eddy had went to jail. And maybe Yoshimitsu brought Eddy's father's body to Dr. Boskanovich who helped bring him back to life, and then he was in hiding or something. I don't know, but regardless of what happens, I believe it has something to do with Eddy reuniting with his father. And that's what I predict this DLC story will be focused on. We'll of course see other characters here and there too, but I think this will be the main focus. Though it may take us a couple more years to hear Reina's origins, continue her story, or follow up Tekken 8's cliffhanger ending, I still have some predictions. For her origins, Reina has the Devil Gene, which would require her to come from the Hachijo clan, but her age implies she was born sometime between Tekken 2 and 3, long after Heihachi had killed his wife Kazumi. So unless Heihachi met with, slept with, and then destroyed another member of the Hachijo clan, something else is going on here. Well, we know that between Tekken 2 and 3, Heihachi was performing cryogenic experiments, some even resulting in the creation of new life forms like Steve Fox coming from Nino Williams. It is possible he could have extracted some of Kazuya's DNA before dumping him in that volcano in Tekken 2, using it on someone like Anna Williams who had also gone under those cryogenic experiments. And yeah, I know that's a wild theory. Anna Williams is Reina's mother? And I don't really believe it that much either, but it's the only thing I could really think of besides Heihachi just marrying another Hachijo. Unless, of course, there's a completely separate clan out there who also has the Devil Gene. As Tekken 8 reveals, Azazel has servants all over the world. I feel that after Reina is dealt with, the story of Tekken is going to start revolving around tracking down other users of the Devil Gene, and either teaming up with them or cleansing them depending on how they use their powers, for good or evil. But how are Jin and Kazuya going to deal with Reina, because they did lose their Devil Gene? Right? I don't think so. For one, Jin still has his tattoo at the end of Tekken 8, implying that he still has the Devil Gene. And two, as for Kazuya, though he may not have his red eye anymore, that doesn't mean he doesn't still have the Devil Gene too. Though Jin and Kazuya believe their devil powers are gone, what I think really happened is that the Devil Gene was reverted to its dormant state, before Jin was shot by Heihachi, and before Kazuya was thrown off that cliff as a child. I believe that in order for Jin and Kazuya to be a match for Reina, they're going to have to set aside their differences and team up to reawaken their powers. And gameplay-wise, Jin had such a huge evolution in his moveset with the integration of the Devil Gene abilities. I can't see them reverting it. And Devil Jin, along with Kazuya's transformation abilities, are just way too iconic. But let me know what you guys think. How do you think this DLC story with Eddy is going to go? And what do you think is going to happen in the future with Reina? Leave your answers in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys next time. LeopoldTheBrave, out.